Welcome to Elder of Zion TV. I'm Elder.
I'm Mrs. Elder.
And today we're going to talk about, this is a topic that certainly we've covered before, but there's a slight new wrinkle, I think, for it. We're going to talk about Dalal Mughrabi, the very world-famous terrorist, and how the Israel's supposed peace partners and the Palestinian Authority make her into a hero.
I know, that's pretty incredible.
It is. Let's, for the people that aren't aware of her, we're going to quickly go over who she is. Dalal Mughrabi, who, by the way, I'm just going to throw this out over here. Mughrabi, do you know what Mughrabi means, Mrs. Elder?
Well, why don't you tell me what
Okay.
Mughrabi means, Elder? I was going to call you Mr. Elder.
Mughrabi means Moroccan. There are a lot of Palestinians have names that say that where they're actually originally from. So Dalal Mughrabi means that her family is actually originally from Morocco. Anyone who has a name of Misri comes from Egypt. Anybody who has, there's a lot of names like that, which is a whole other topic we could have at any point.
I think we should, because that's quite intriguing.
Yes, but at any rate, so Dalal Mughrabi was a terrorist. In 1978, she led a group of, I forgot how many, but a group of about 8 other terrorists. They came from Lebanon in a boat, and they started killing every Israeli they could find.
That's not good.
Mughrabi by herself, she was the leader of the entire team, but by herself, she the first person that they met, where they asked where they were, was a photographer named Gail Rubin, who also was the niece of a U.S. senator, by the way. She was a nature photographer, and they asked her where they were, and then Dalal Mughrabi murdered her.
Oh, that's very sweet of her.
Then they hijacked a taxi. They killed the people in the taxi. They seized a bus and they went towards Tel Aviv. They were going to try to start doing like a major terror attack inside Tel Aviv. Then they hijacked another bus. They moved the hostages into to the first bus. So they with 71 hostages, they came down.
Did they kill them all?
Well, in the end, they ended up going in and getting a shootout with the Israeli forces, and then they ended up blowing up the bus, with hand grenades and stuff. So it's like it was a really a horrible terror attack. And in the end, it was 38 civilians were killed, plus 1 soldier, and there was included 13 children were killed in this. And there was like Time magazine had an article afterwards where he sees kids with bullets in their heads. There were there was a car across the street. They started machine gunning the car, and this person was, the person whose father and brother, her father was driving, brother was in the back seat. They were both, killed, and she ended up having to drive, to take the wheel just in order to stop from being crashed. It was just like horrible event. And there's no doubt, the PLO will claim that it's, they were all killed by the Israelis, but it's complete garbage. It's all of the eyewitnesses that were at the scene know what happened, and it was the whole point of this attack was for the Palestinians to kill as many Israelis as possible, and this was the most successful, from their perspective, the most horrific terror attack in Israeli history, with these 38 people killed, not counting the terrorists, because we don't count them as people. The Palestinian TV, official Palestinian TV, has many times treated Dalal Mughrabi as a hero. Here's a recent example. This only came out, it was only actually uploaded by Palestinian Media Watch this week. This was in celebration of International Women's Day.
Wow.
يمكن فتحت طريق كبير قدام الأخوات حتى يستمروا بهذا كانت فخر للمرأة الفلسطينية.
She was a source of pride.
Yeah. And so yes, the interviewer agrees. We must remember her, and may Allah have mercy on her. It was, but this happens all the time. They name schools, they name like sporting events, they name all these things after Dalal Mughrabi. It's a really pathetic, sickening phenomenon, and it's happening today. So it's not happening just this is not talking about in 1978 when you could say, oh, Fatah was of course anti-Israel, of course it's terror. This is today's leaders. Fatah is of course the Mahmoud Abbas he's the head of the party, so he's responsible for this. This is something we've known, but it still doesn't make it any more sickening when we see it. It turns out that just now, this weekend, was the 38th anniversary of this massacre. And sure enough, and here's from the Ma'an news agency. This is the Arabic auto-translated version. They had an event to honor her. Here you have a big poster of her behind, a picture of one of the members of the Central Committee of Fatah, and there's also the governor of Ramallah and Al-Bireh, Leila Ghanem, and they're all talking about how wonderful this whole thing was. We have other pictures. This is a picture from the official Palestinian Authority news site, their official. So this is not just only Fatah. This is something that is the actual news site talks about it. Here we see the governor that we mentioned before, the person, the mayor or the governor of Ramallah and Al-Bireh, talking about it, and they have these like Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts next to her, saying, because the kids are the ones that are being indoctrinated. It's essentially child abuse. They're being indoctrinated to say how wonderful terrorism is, and this is today. That while you don't think there's any relationship between what they're telling the kids and the stabbing that we're seeing, and all the other terror attacks we're seeing, this is direct incitement. Here's the crowd, and we're going to go back to that in a second. And here's just also they get these girls to do a dance and a song because it's so wonderful. Dalal Mughrabi is the acknowledged leader of this operation, and she's considered to be the role model. So again, so they're here. Apparently, they're all were saying some sort of a prayer or something in her memory. So and here's another picture from the front, and as we showed before. Now going back to this picture, over here there are some people that are wearing. I'm not sure if this is what this is related or anything like, but people who are wearing this orange, the sort of
life vest type of thing.
Yeah, life vest sort of. So what this may be, and I believe it probably is, and here's what I think the wrinkle is about this, is where this event occurred. Again, this is Fatah, their official celebration of a terror, of the murder of 38 Jews. And this happened at, as we can find out also going back here, it happened at the Red Crescent Hall in Al-Bireh. The Palestinian Red Crescent. This is their version of the Red Cross. The Red Crescent is an honored member of the Red Cross. It was officially recognized in 2006 by the International Council of the Red Cross. If you go to their webpage, which I thought I had up, but I don't, so I apologize. But if you go to the WARE webpage, you'll see that they have, they take money from other Red Crosses, and they get ambulances, they get donations. They're, they're considered like a regular life-saving organization. So here we have, so it's bad enough that we have, Fatah, the Mahmoud Abbas's group, praising the murders and praising terrorists. It's bad enough that the official government of the Palestinian Authority praises and celebrates these terrorists. But here we have, it gets even more, it's so twisted and it's so depraved that the Palestine Red Crescent Society, people whose entire lives are supposedly dedicated to saving people's lives, are happily hosting an event that celebrates the murders of human beings.
Unbelievable.
It's just, it's
disgusting.
It boggles the mind that this is so normal that it's considered, okay, big deal. Okay, so yeah, Red Crescent, of course, what do you expect? They like martyrs. They think that these guys are martyrs. And it's like, no, these guys are celebrating murderers. They're happily celebrating murderers. They're proud that they're celebrating these murderers. Did it make things any closer to a state for them? Did it help them have independence? No. That's not what, there was nothing accomplished from this, from their perspective, except dead Jews. So it's like, you don't even have to wonder what the goal of their ultimate goal that they're trying to do. Is it independence? No, it's more dead Jews. It's doing whatever they can to get rid of Jews from the area. And that's like, but nobody even wants to talk about that. You can't hear the government, the United States is aware of this. Europe is aware of this. This stuff has been in the newspapers. People have talked about it. But this is literally the way it is. So it's not just the government. It's not just the Fatah party. It's not just the terrorists that are supporting. It is literally just so embedded in Palestinian society that nobody even blinks that the Red Crescent, the Red Cross service of the Palestinians, is fully behind and supports the murder of Jews.
You should show that symbol so that everybody sees what it is, just to...
Sorry, you can...
No, because I was going to say, I see it's off the screen.
Yes, sorry about that. I'm not sure
No,
if I can
that's
do it.
fine.
Yeah.
The reason why I was saying
can't
to you
get
is
it
so everybody can recognize...
The Palestine Red Crescent Society. Let me see if I can bring it up for you over here.
Yeah, if you could, because I was going to say to you that I think...
Here you go.
Yeah, because I was going to say to you, by looking at that symbol, then everybody has something that they can associate and realize that that's not good.
Very good idea. But it's
Okay.
now again, we know the stories about how the ambulances have been used by terrorists or something like that. Usually, when these things are investigated, it happens in Gaza. They say in the end, well, it really wasn't the Red Crescent. It was like a Hamas ambulance or something like that. And I haven't investigated whether all those claims are true. I'm sure that they
Well,
try
this
to make
gives
a
them something
pretense
that
of
they can look at for the future so
Yeah,
that we
yeah.
can assess.
No, it's true. So, but nevertheless, over here, there's no way around it that the Red Crescent Society, allowed that their facilities to be used for a celebration of terror. That's pretty much what I have for today. So for now, I'm Elder,
Mrs. Elder.
and we will talk to you guys again.